Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year and everything like that. It's been absolutely insane. I haven't really managed to catch a proper break since I last saw you because I have been moving house, so it's super nice and I'm really happy. I feel really good considering the circumstances. It's been a lot of adjustment, kind of learning to be alone occasionally, especially in the state of everything recently, the fact that I can't see any of my friends or anything. In general, I've been feeling really happy and feeling really good and just feeling really at home in this new space, and I feel really lucky to be able to be here and return back to YouTube after taking a bit of a break and have time to kind of like settle into my space and everything. So thank you guys for giving me that time. So today I wanted to kind of do a part 2 on the accepting your face video that I did because I really loved making that video. I thought it was actually very therapeutic for me and also seemed to be you guys as well, because I kind of feel like it is a prevalent problem for lots and lots of people. And I mentioned in that video that I was thinking of doing an accepting your body video, and that is something that I still really wanted to do, but I think at that point I wasn't really there. I still had some work to do of kind of like accepting my body at any form, because I think for so long I had like those ideals like pressed into my head. But I've always been used to being very skinny or on the skinny side. So when I kind of got into my early 20s and I started to gain weight and everything, I started to freak out massively. That took a lot of adjusting to, so it had to take me a while to actually be comfortable with my body. But I finally feel at a place where, since I kind of made that video and maybe over the last few months, I've been feeling extremely at peace with my body and accepting of my body, and then kind of going into the borderline of loving my body too. So that's been really nice as well. So yeah, I'm gonna be chatting a little bit today about like the accepting your face video. I want to go into some personal tips that I found really handy when it came to accepting my body, and that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. And they are like tips from experience, so all of these tips have been tried and tested and worked. Quick disclaimer though, I want to say that everything that is in this video is just from personal experience. I think the problem that some people found with the last video is that they were like, well, how you have like the easiest way of like accepting your body. I understand my privilege in this scenario and I understand that I cannot speak for anybody, but basically what I wanted to do is just hopefully help some of you guys if I can. And maybe what I would recommend is just taking what you can from this video and leaving the rest, because you never know what people are going to say that can maybe help you and things like that in some little way. Just so you know, I understand that this is coming from a very privileged point of view. All I can really offer is my advice. In general, if you have like a lot of insecurity, which I did, it's a very hard thing to accept. So I just wanted to kind of share some like light on this subject a little bit, but just so you know, I'm aware. And also just take what you can, and if you can't take anything, that's also fine too. I'm going to be recommending some like books throughout this video as well that hopefully you might be able to get some stuff out of too. Also, another little disclaimer is what I kind of like to promote first when it comes to like accepting yourself is acceptance, and not straight away like expecting to be in love with who you are and in love with your face and in love with your body, because I think it's unrealistic to suddenly be like, I completely love my body, I completely love my face. I think first you definitely need acceptance. I think you need to come to a point where you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm cool with it. I'm not like, you don't have to be like, whoa, I'm the most beautiful person in the world, wow, I love my body so much. And then you kind of slowly start to love it a little bit more and start to kind of be more comfortable with it, kind of like building a relationship with somebody. So I always like to say, focus on acceptance first and then the love will come. Like with my face, for a long time, I just accepted it and then I started to discover small things that I really loved about my face. Also, this video may have a few like similar points to the accepting your face video. Sorry, but I have tried to kind of branch out and really just focus on what really helped me, so I can't really help if they are similar, but yeah. So again, these are just kind of tips. I've just got them written down here because I don't like reading stuff off my laptop anymore. And these are just tips again that I have learned that I feel like have really genuinely helped me accept myself, and also just kind of like move into a place where I don't focus so much on the way that I look and more focus on just living. I guess more importantly, I am just going to get started on it. First tip that I kind of have is to understand and unlearn patriarchal and bigoted standards. I think the most important thing for me, and I think one of the first steps that I took to accepting my body, was really questioning what I had been taught and what I had learned about the way people should look, or the way bodies should look, or what I've been taught about my body. Because when I was younger, I thought, like, especially when I was kind of going through like puberty and stuff like that, I thought that like women should be soft, and I thought they should be completely shaved, and you know, especially when I got into social media more and more, I was like obsessed with having a small waist. There are so many little things that we get ingrained in us on the every single day, whether we're looking at social media from people around us, that we then kind of take on board and start to believe about our own bodies, that do create a really unhealthy like influence on us and what we think and how we feel and how we act. And you know, when your view fluctuates, suddenly all these like insecurities come to your head of like all these things that people have said to you in your past that really aren't true, that maybe don't even apply to you now, but you kind of take on subconsciously because that's kind of what it does to you. That's what insecurity kind of does. It's really important to question all these standards, even what you think, even if you don't feel like you have an unhealthy view on people's bodies. Like, question what you think about this. Question why you associate being skinny with being healthy. Like, question why you feel like women need to look a certain way or men need to look a certain way. You need to question all of your views. And I'm not saying like completely doubt yourself. I'm not saying like be so skeptical of yourself that you start to overthink and unwind about stuff. But I'm just saying question yourself in a healthy way. Just be like, is that relevant? Is that actually a thing, or is that like a standard that people have made up? Is this just a fashion thing? Because we also noticed throughout history how, like, you know, typically bodies that look like the Venus body were more in fashion, and then it went in the 90s, it was like super skinny. Also question how you judge yourself compared to how you judge other people and stuff like that. And the best way to kind of do that is honestly reading and educating yourself on health, body issues and body positivity books. So you need to actually understand health, and I've got a few book recommendations that I will put down below that have these kind of categories on. I'll sort them out into categories so you can view them. But it's important to learn about health in a healthy way from people actually don't have like unhealthy views towards bodies, because there's so many books out there that actually do have like a biased standpoint, even from like healthcare professionals and stuff. Educate yourself on what humans actually need to be considered healthy, and also understand that there's no point in judging people that aren't necessarily healthy, because everybody has different things going on. Everybody has different life. Everybody has different standpoints. Not everybody has copious amounts of time to exercise every single day. Some people work really, really hard. And just understand your views and try to keep the judgment to a low, and understand your judgments may be hypocritical. Educate yourself on body issues and how people are judged based on their body, and why it's unhealthy, and why people don't owe you having a perfect body. And also just be skeptical of what people say as well, and just understand that like things aren't as black and white as people make them out to be. Branch out and educate yourself. Read books about body positivity, and I mean of all kinds. I don't just mean like about like white female body positivity or just like specific things like that. I mean like look into people that have body positivity that includes everybody. Also understand how body negativity sells. And I've kind of discussed, you know guys, that I have a bit of a hate for the media, the way they portray things, and also how social media tries to sell you things all the time. I have a whole video on why I gave up my smartphone where I kind of go into depth about how fucked up things are. You can always watch like the social dilemma and stuff if you are kind of interested in the more like social issues of how the internet tries to sell us things, how social media platforms tries to sell us things. There's a lot of people on social media that have big followings that promote these like skinny teas and these diet shakes and things like that, and understand that it sells for people to do that. Even if people just have high followings, because that is believed to be like the perfect standard, and that is taught to believed to be the perfect standard. The problem is that people will then look up to them and want to be like them and buy things that look like them, and the things that they promote that don't have anything to do with diet pills and things like that, you know, whether it be clothing or stuff like that, because, you know, people are considered perfect, people are idolized like weirdly as well. Like, I really don't think that anybody should be idolized or believed to not be anything other than human. Like, just understand that it sells, educate yourself on that too, and understand like how scary it is that that sells. Also, I think it's important to learn about your own insecurities as well, and understand where your triggers kind of come from, where you see your triggers in your day, what kind of triggers you to feel like you don't like your body, or that you feel really insecure about your body, and keep a journal. So journals are amazing for like pretty much anything. Keeping a journal for me really helped me track when I was putting myself down. I did this thing for a while, which I think I mentioned in my Accepting Your Face video, where every single time I had a negative belief about myself throughout the day, I would note it down, cross it out, and write something more positive. And you can kind of keep track of that, and you can also keep track of when you suddenly feel insecure about yourself. You can suddenly be like, wait, so I was looking on social media and I saw this thing and it made me feel really crap about myself, or I was on Pinterest and I saw this really thing and I felt really crap about myself, or I was in the supermarket and I saw these diet pills and I felt really crap about myself. Just track when you feel crap about yourself and change or remove that, or just note it down and just remember it. Remember that that is just like a silly trigger, and just understand why you may feel these things. Kind of delve deeper into your emotions. Again, obviously these things are done better with professional help and everything like that, but it is fine to still do it by yourself. Like, delve deeper into understanding why you feel this way, also why it affects you, and you know, just give yourself some time to meditate on it or think about it. Actually just think, like just sit and think to yourself, okay, let's go through this now. Why do I feel like this affects me? Is it a comment that somebody said ages ago? Do I have these like specific ideals in my head because of this, because of that? And just try to understand your insecurities, and especially also whether you place your insecurities on other people too. I think once you like kind of take things like that on board as well, they do kind of naturally stop, and kind of you start to notice them a little bit more. And also understand that like absolutely nobody is going to love you more or less because of the way that you look. I think it's quite like a common thing within relationships and everything like that to become, whenever you get like insecure within relationships, or whenever you may feel competition with people, which understand that like nobody is going to love you more or less depending on how that you look, or whether you manufacture yourself more. Because it's just not true. Like nobody is going to love you more or less whether you manufacture yourself more, whether you get bigger boobs or have a smaller waist or anything like that. Like true love, like true unconditional kindness and love that has taken work and dedication and that is worth it will not affect that. And it's not your job or your task to do that, or to try to change somebody's opinion by that, by changing yourself. Because if you do that, you end up becoming more and more unhappy and more contributing, not only to the issue, which I'm not saying is your fault if you have been, because babe, like we've all been there, we've all been through it. It will also just not serve your soul. It will not serve that like inner child of yours. It will not serve your happiness to do that. It will only make you feel smaller and less worth it, especially if it's then rejected. And read books on social media and how it affects your minds to understand it a little bit more, and like grasp your surroundings a little bit more, and understand and be more aware of what is happening around you, so you can catch it and just like throw it away when it comes up. Again, if you feel like you need fixing or anything like that, ask yourself why you feel like you need fixing. Understand those emotions more. Just understand that there is balance in everything. The thing that I really love about healing and spiritual journeys is that there is a middle ground for everybody. is absolutely no person where everything just suits one person. You know, for an example, with like clothing you wear, some people I meet have been like, I don't think you should make any effort with your appearance at all and just kind of like chill and be at peace with it, whatever it may be. And then other people are like, no, I believe that, you know, I like to take care of myself and I like to kind of honour myself in that way. And I never allowed myself to buy clothes and stuff when I was young, so I'd like to do that now. And that's, both sides are perfectly fine, and there is a place in the middle for you. And same with like loving your body and stuff like that. You don't need to like change all your like thoughts at once. It's just like a slow progression of get there, and do not beat yourself up if you felt like a certain way about something and you suddenly realise it, because these things, they need change, they need time, and just understand that balance is needed in order to kind of keep content and happy. So that was a very long first point, and I swear the rest of them, oh, maybe they are quite long. I don't know, I think that was the longest point. Remove yourself from harmful platforms. This is something that I did kind of speak about in the Accepting Your Face video, but it kind of goes without saying. Once you kind of notice your triggers and everything like that, it's important that you take action and understand that what you do for yourself is it's got to be what's best for you. It doesn't matter if you may hurt other people's feelings a little bit, as long as you're not like being aggressive about it. It doesn't matter if you need to like unfollow people or delete social media or kind of remove yourself from certain situations or things, or set boundaries with people and things like that if people, you know, kind of constantly make comments about your body or so. It kind of goes without saying, but unfollowing anyone that has like damaging beliefs that could rub off on you is very important. You know, if you follow somebody that promotes skinny tea constantly, that has unhealthy views of their body, I mean, that kind of goes without saying that you probably, if you're feeling insecure, probably shouldn't follow people like that. But I'm not saying like blame people for like, you know, feeling that way, because like loads of people have a point in their life where they're like either like super controlling of their body or have these beliefs. So you can't blame people, you can't be forceful or have judgment, but just understand that like you don't have to keep up with that. You don't have to keep following people that may make you feel like you're less worth it. But also with things like TV shows, I have watched so many TV shows since we've been in lockdown, and I really noticed that like some TV shows really don't promote healthy body images. I think honestly just like changing your like viewing things and viewing things that have more, but like having just like a healthier view on bodies and have a more like diverse like cast to them, or speak about these issues in a more sensitive way. You know, what you watch actually does affect you a lot, and if it does have damaging messages and you feel that's like points where you're getting kind of like insecure about these things, then it just stop. It's not worth it. There's other things for you to watch. Just in general, focus on having kind of role models. Again, don't idolize people, but having people that you kind of follow if you do want to stay on social media and stuff like that, that promote like all body types or have a healthy view on these things. My camera was starting to overheat, so I'm sorry the lighting has changed. The fucking weather is so annoying at the minute. You can follow accounts of people that like look around them a little bit more, you know, like don't just post things that kind of have everything to do with like looks and everything like that. Like you can follow people that just kind of want to talk about other things. And also just like, I guess that was kind of a point of the last like section, but if you have hatred for others and if you notice yourself judging people unfairly, like the chances are you are going to be judging yourself unfairly too. So it's good to kind of be skeptical about that and be skeptical about your choices and just swap unhealthy things out for more healthy things, so you're not just kind of like left with like a weird space, I guess. Good point. So the next is intuitive eating and exercise. So don't know a lot about actually what intuitive eating is. I don't know if it's like an actual like movement or something, but so I'm not gonna like be talking about it because I don't actually know a lot about intuitive eating other than eating intuitively and just kind of deciding what I think my body needs and stuff like that. With intuitive eating and intuitive exercise, firstly, again, off the bat, educate yourself. Educate yourself on diet culture and why it's bad and why the whole like fad dieting thing is not sustainable, healthy, or promotes anything actually positive for people accepting their bodies. Because honestly as well, like if people have massive issues with their body to the point of where it's like causing health issues, you need to accept the way that you look before making change, or actually being able to make change anyway. I think you need to understand diet culture, and you need to understand why it isn't effective, why shaming isn't effective, and like everything like that. It's good to have a good diet. Like, I think that's kind of obvious to everybody, that it's important to eat intuitively and to listen to your body. Like, you know usually what your body needs, you know what yourself needs usually. Sometimes it may take a few minutes to just think clearly and understand it, but you know what your body needs. Like, you know what kind of food you're feeling or you're fancying or what you kind of need. Treat the majority of your food as like medicine to your body, and treat the majority of your food as kind of knowing that it's going to nourish you from like a mental health perspective, because we know how much it helps when you have a good diet with your mental health and everything like that. And same with exercise. I think exercise intuitively too. So like, usually my like intuitive exercising is, most days I can't be bothered to wake up and work out, so what I will do is I'll make sure that I will go, and because I've got the time as well, I make sure that I go for like a super long walk every day. Like, I usually walk for about an hour and a half every day, so that's kind of like my intuitive exercising really. But I think it's important to don't feel pressured to keep up with it all the time. Like, I think it's good when you find something that you can fit into your routine that like works really, really well with you, but don't feel pressured to like always do it, especially when you're going through like upheaves or massive life changes. Oh my god, get out of my face. Stupid sun. It's important to just kind of like listen to what you feel like your body needs. Just go for like more walks and stuff. Like, honestly, that's a great start to understanding and like helping your body a little bit more. It's just going for like longer walks, or you know, after you finish work, go for a little walk, or try to walk to work if you can, or just like picking up little bits of walking like wherever you can. That's a great place to start. Like, people are always like, when you start a routine, you've got to like start and exercise and go really hard, but what I'm saying, realistically, something you're going to keep up with. Just like kind of do what you want when you can and when feels right, and allow yourself and understand fluctuation too. Understand that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, there's going to be a point in your life where you are going to fluctuate. I also think like the majority of people would never judge anybody else for fluctuating, so I find it very odd that people judge themselves for fluctuating. Don't even notice it in other people, and honestly, people don't notice it in you, and that doesn't even matter if they do, because it's just a bit of weight fluctuation. Like, it's literally just weight like on your body. That's all it is. Yeah. Okay to like eat things that you fancy, make healthier versions of things if you like. Just like understand your diet a bit more. It's just like, if you get, you know, your healthy shit in, like, you're doing fine. You're kind of getting that like health, that good health stuff in. Realize that it's okay to let go sometimes, like, and realize that there is points where you feel like you might have to eat a bit healthier. I think like the healthy balance is just kind of creating like a nice balance within your diet, taking emphasis of it, and just understanding and listening to your body. That has changed my way of like viewing food. The next point is treat yourself well and make friends with your body. I think as well, like going from that one, I think it's very, very important to allow yourself treats, like 100%. You don't have to be strict about them or anything. Like, you can have treats on the regular basis and just like accept that, and that's fine. But allow yourself treats. Just allow yourself treats with that mindfulness at hand. You know, you can just like let yourself fluctuate and be cool with it and do whatever. Usually when you kind of get into a diet that you're happy with, your body kind of fits that anyway. Not for the looks, but for the happy mind, you know? Don't think about the way that it looks, just focus on like what it's serving, the purpose that it's serving. Like, allow yourself to eat like unhealthy food sometimes. Just listen to what your body kind of fancies and what it needs, but also like intuitively make sure that you're getting enough like medicine for your body and getting enough fruits and veggies for your body to like thrive and be happy. So what I mean by like making friends with your body is and treating yourself well is also like doing body positive exercises. So a few of these like examples that I have, and there are so many of them which kind of relate to making friends with your body and gaining a healthier relationship and respect for your body, because I also think when you have more respect for your body, you kind of more think about what you're putting into it, because you don't want to be damaging it and everything. Like, firstly, inner child work. I think inner child work is one of the most important things that I've done, because when you're a child, you're so like, I think for a lot of people, they're quite free and happy. And inner child, again, I kind of relate it to like, not even how you acted when you're a child. It doesn't even have to be an actual like how you were as a child, but just that child within you, because that inner child is still you. You're still that child in some way. Think about how you speak to that child, you know, talk to that child. Sometimes there's like specific meditations that you can do when you meditate and you go into it and you meet your inner child, you visualize you as a child and speak to it. And you usually, when you have that, like with any child, you want to treat it with care, you want to help them, you want to make them feel worthy and respected, and just make sure you're not talking to yourself in a way that devalues that and devalues yourself and treats yourself badly. So like there's so many different things of inner child work that can help with body confidence, like that I'm not even going to kind of start going into it, but if you look into inner child work and kind of helping your inner child, that is definitely something that is really good for body confidence. Another thing that I definitely kind of delved into towards the start of my artwork journey was doing like body confidence artworks and kind of coming into like a more like embracing my inner goddess and kind of embracing like being a woman, which is something that I've always struggled with. I definitely think like doing artwork that is like honouring your body, I think is very, very positive. And study that as well, like study bodies and stuff like that. And like, you know, if you do paint like bodies and whatever, then focus on like studying people that aren't like stereotypically have like the perfect body and everything. Also like things like sitting with yourself naked, that's something that I have been doing a lot recently. It's just kind of like, especially now like I live alone, and I just be like, oh, this is cute, like this is where all my food goes, and you know, I just kind of like get to know it a little bit more. I know that kind of sounds odd, I don't really know how to explain it, but I just like look at myself in underwear and just be like, this is cute, like I feel cute, like there's nothing wrong with my body, it's just what it is, it's just a body. And make sure that whenever you come up with like a self-limiting belief like that, you cut it off and correct it. Again, you can use that like kind of journaling method with that. Listen to it and like it and feed it well and take it for walks and honor it, you know? Like get into healthy routines where you honor your body and don't treat it badly, and just kind of sit with yourself and just be comfortable with yourself and wear clothes that make you feel like you can do anything and you were treating a different human. You just make friends with it. So also another point to like honoring it is doing things that honour your body on a regular to make you understand that you deserve honouring. No matter what your body looks like, no matter what you have, your body deserves honouring. It is sacred, it carries us through things. It shows tear, it shows wear, it shows beauty, it shows passion, love, like everything, and it's important to honour that and thank it as well. You know, it carries you through illness, it carries you through everything, like it's a vessel for our souls. Treat it like it's a powerful vessel, because it is. Getting massages is a very sacred thing. Like I've read in like my You Are a Goddess book that like women used to be like scrutinised for giving massages. It was seen as like the devil's work. You're really like saying that your body deserves to be relaxed, it deserves to be helped, it deserves to kind of honoured, you know, you deserve that treat, you deserve that kind of therapy towards it. Other things like that are kind of smaller is like herbal ritual showers and baths, giving yourself like a relaxing bath where you just get to like lay with your body, give it treats, you know, put some oils in there. When you get out of the bath, give yourself like a moisturize. You know, sometimes I have those evenings where I'll have like a herbal shower and then I'll just like moisturize everywhere, I'll like do some maintenance or whatever I need to do, and then I'll just like lay in bed and like put my little incense and put my little oil like oil blower and just like chill out. You know, I'll give myself a massage, like I'll massage my face. Yeah, massage yourself, that's also another thing as well. Just like treat your body good, like take care of it. I think when you have that respect for that, and so that sort of way, like intuitive eating becomes easier, because you're like, I want to honour this body, I want to treat it well, I want to give it treats, you know? The last point that I have, which may seem confusing, but I'm just kind of speaking from the heart here, is take the control away from your appearance. This is like a more of a personal thing, because I definitely for a very long time had massive control issues with my appearance. I think whenever I felt like something was going wrong, I would always like go straight to my appearance. You know, whether it be like cutting my hair or getting weird about my body or wanting to change my style or something like that. Like it always would come back to the way that I looked. I think when I like started to go on my healing journey, I like let things spiral out of control, because I think sometimes you need to let that in order to get like a calmer mind. That sometimes you just need to like let go and just let things go crazy, you know, and you look like you're going crazy when you're healing usually. But when you let go a little, it kind of becomes easier to love it, because you're like, this is just natural, baby. Like letting that control be removed and just kind of riding that wave a little bit is cool. So prove yourself wrong about the things that you don't like about yourself. So this is something that I kind of felt like was especially relevant to not wearing makeup. But you know, for that example, if you were putting it on that example, like thought I was so ugly without makeup, so then I just spent a month without makeup and kind of grew to love my face, and then I didn't want to wear makeup anymore. I think there's certain things that you need to like prove yourself wrong about, you know, like if you're like, oh, if I let go a little, and if I, you know, start eating intuitively and let go of this control or gain a little bit of weight, or if I start spending more time on myself, then people are going to think that I'm lazy and, you know, etc. and all that. So I think it's important to sometimes prove yourself wrong, do these things, and then understand it. Another thing that also I did is like take away things that control me, or like are overwhelmingly controlling, or that make me feel bad, etc. Social media, scales, that sort of thing. You know, if you have something that controls you and that like makes you put yourself down, because again, we all can kind of get into self-hating patterns as well, because it makes us, because sometimes we feel like we deserve it for some reason. There's loads of different traumas and things that could relate to, but there may be something problem with there. So you could like have people's social media that you specifically check that make you feel worse about yourself. You don't know why you do it, so you can just take that away. You can just block them. Again, it's nothing personal, it's not their fault, but you can just block them and just like leave that. If you have an obsession with weighing yourself, I know there's like healthy ways that people do things to keep track of it when it comes to exercise. If you like constantly weigh yourself and it's like a self-hatred thing, like get rid of that, because you don't need that, and that is not going to serve you. Anything that kind of has control over me, like social media and stuff, like, or like my phone or anything like that, like letting that go until it no longer controls you, and then relearning a healthy relationship with it is always a good thing to do. And it's the same with any like negative connotations that you have with your body or anything like that. It really doesn't bother me anymore, because it became something that has purpose, it has serves. You know, I understood why my body was changing, and I understood like what I needed, and as long as I was getting what I needed, the rest was kind of like, you know, I can treat myself, I can have fun, I can go out and I can do things and not be precious about it. But I think I needed to understand my body more before I started to accept it. And then when I accepted it, it was beautiful, because I kind of just felt like I can fluctuate and do whatever and gain weight, and I'm never gonna have this like hatred towards my body. Again, like I also like thought that body hair, like for ages I'd been taught that body hair was like bad and it would make me look like a hippie or whatever, like that wouldn't matter anyway. And then when I grew out my body hair, I loved it, and I was like, this makes me feel way more feminine than I had before. So I think when I let go of all of that and started to just understand how like these little things that I thought about myself weren't true, everything just became easier and nicer and lighter, and I just started to accept what was going on more and understood it a bit more, and understand that I don't need control of it in order to love it and in order for it to be beautiful or whatever, you know, to me. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, because if I'm happy with it and it's aligning with me, then cool. Yeah, that is everything that I've kind of got to say today. I hope that was good. I kind of like sometimes have been losing my track of thought. Like I was really nervous about filming today's video, because I don't know, I just haven't filmed in a few weeks. Every time I go a few weeks without filming, I'm always like, what is talking? Oh, also these dungarees I got for Christmas, just so you know, I haven't gone back and been like, purchase. Hope you enjoy this video. I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope whatever journey you're going on with your body, you end up honouring it and loving it and being accepting of it. Again, acceptance is what you're aiming for. It's not like having to love your body instantly. Acceptance is what you're aiming for, and the rest will come. I really like speaking about these sort of things, so I will see you in my next video, and I love you guys, and I will see you soon.